Question 7. Select the correct answer from each drop-down menu. Consider the piecewise function shown on the graph below, which is composed of exponential, linear, and polynomial pieces. Complete the statements describing function h. The first question says, over the interval from 0 to 3, function h is represented by a blank function. So first off, let's look at what are the options. The options are linear, square root, exponential. I encourage you, if you forgot what a linear function looks like, search it up, Google it. Linear function, I'm just going to call L, is just a straight line. Exponential function typically is going to be a graph that has a curve in it, and it's usually exploding or decreasing at a faster and faster rate. And then the square root function typically looks like this. It has a curve in it, but it's a little bit more of a pronounced curve, a little bit of slower growth. So now the question is, okay, what function do they want us to look at? They want us to look at the function from 0 to 3. And remember, these are x values. So when x is 0, the graph exists right here. And when x is 3, the graph exists right here. So we look at this function here. This is clearly an exponential function. So that's what we would choose for the first option. Second part, let me erase everything. Wants to know function h is a or is not a continuous function. Remember, a continuous function is just a function with no breaks, and it continues infinitely in both directions. And we can see, although they don't have an arrow, we can assume this graph is going to keep going down and to the left forever. And if we go from left to right, there's no holes in the graph, there's no breaks in the graph, and this graph is going to continue to go up and to the right forever. So this graph is indeed a continuous function. All right, the next part says as x approaches positive infinity. So let's think about positive infinity. What does this mean? This means the numbers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, which way does x go when the numbers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger? Well, x goes to the right. As we move to the right, x is becoming a bigger and bigger number. So as this graph moves to the right, what is happening? Is it going up forever? Is it stopping? Is it going down forever? Well, as this graph moves to the right forever, this graph is also going up forever. So that means the y is also approaching positive infinity. That's what it means when it says h of x approaches. Really, it wants to know, okay, what is the y coordinate approaching for the h function? And then finally, as x approaches negative infinity. So obviously, as x approaches negative infinity means we're moving to the left, because the x values are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So as this graph is moving to the left, it's going to continue to go to the left, and it's obviously going down forever. So as x gets smaller, so does y. So as x approaches negative infinity, y also approaches negative infinity.